All right. I think well, I always do this. Okay, I'm on it. Anyways, today I tired of perfume and there's only so much perfume and stuff you can wear in the world. So, anyways, today I decided that I'm gonna braid some ropes. And I was thinking about making pot holders out of it or possibly a blanket. Because if you don't have money to quilt your own blanket, you can make your own squares. I mean, it's like I ordered some knitting needles, the plastic ones. I don't like dealing with the other ones. Yeah, I don't know. To me, the lighter the needle, the better. But I mean, it's up to the individual, really. But I'm going to pre braid some rolls and I'm going to use the yarn like I would pretty much, I guess, thread. But what I'd have to do is I got to braid a bunch of these ropes. So I could show you how to do that and then, we could progress. And this is probably going to be like, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 live streams trying to finish this because it's going to be a big project and it doesn't cost a lot of money. All you need is a lot of yarn. And the needle kit I got was like $6. So it wasn't even that expensive. It was pretty cheap. So I figured why not? I can use up my yarn. And then if I get anybody that wants perfume, and then I could do stream making perfume or cologne or something of that sort. So I am going to put this camera right here. I'm going to start with braiding my rope. I'm thinking if it was a pot holder or something, I'd want it kind of. I can always intertwine them in all different things. So I'm going to make longer ropes because I feel it would be better. If you make longer ropes, you can intertwine them when you finally get your needles, and those aren't coming to Monday. So I figure I'll just get all my ropes ready at this point. I'm going to do the 6 strings. And as you see, I'm coming down with this, and I just measure it out. And then I just take it, hold it, pull it all the way back, and then cut it right here. There, just like that. I got 4, and I don't know, the 6 ones seem to be like thicker, like if I was to use them for squares for quilting blankets or whatnot. So I figure it's a cheap craft. It takes a lot of time, but if you have a lot of time on your hands and you kind of like doing solitary stuff, it could be a fun activity. And it comes out looking beautiful. It really does. And I have literally this yarn to use on. So we'll just see how many episodes it takes. I at least want to try to get like 6 to 10 of these or something. But I think I got my table on the wrong side. Or you know what? I could just start this over here. We don't get all crumpled up back here. It's probably a better idea. I go up more in the table. So I'm gonna start up more this way. And they are very time consuming, trust me. You do not have a lot of time on your hands. There is not a good activity for you. It's for the people who absolutely need to for today. Horrible camera strikes. Anyways, I take these and I know. Okay, what the you know what I need? Maybe I can get a little bit yarn board. I deal with so much yarn. Okay, the yarn held it up. There was a God. That was a bad joke. It really was. But anyways, I'm taking two here, and I like to take my strings that kind of make sense. Because you gotta do a real tight braid at this point. And then you hold over, then you come over again, and my camera, I can't even see the braiding. Alright, I think is it? Maybe you need a box and yarn to do something. Alright, that's a little better. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna pull this real tight here and start crossing over like a corn roll. And you just keep moving it along. And it's very important to have a good camera stand. That it is very important. Alright, I think that here we go. This is better. Alright, and then you just pull this over like that. And this way. Until you get a real nice rope. Because these you can always sew together with other yarn. And you sew rolls. It's kind of like just you can make sweaters out of it this way or anything. And it's nice because you don't have to keep balling up your yarn. Because no one wants to keep balling up their yarn all the time. I mean, I don't. But I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos thinking about my next yarn project. And I just found it crazy about these wormholes. They keep coming up again. I've never seen so much talk about wormholes. They're saying is when two black holes come together and cross over, they create a wormhole. And then people were saying these wormholes abducted people, and they ended up, in the one video I seen, they ended up saying that it would have sucked in the whole house, which I I buy that. It's a lot of power, but they're saying that these could be actually our thing. It's not science fiction no more like it used to be back in the day. It used to be taboo to talk about this stuff because nobody really cared. But now it's exciting how you could, how all this could happen in the world, really. So it's exciting times we live in. Exciting. Then they were saying about these other mysteries and all that. What kind of like it made me very interested in the world around me. There, of course, the aliens come up from up above, but People say they were visited by aliens. And when they're taken aboard these ships, I guess they did a brain analysis on some of them, like an independent doctor or something like that. Curious people with money, I like to call them. The curious people with money did all these brain scans. And after they did these brain scans, they literally realized that their brain was different. So it was very interesting to me, and it was hardcore facts. And in all these cases, there's one part their brain just functions different. I mean, is it possible they were trying to actually help us? I mean, we see it as a horrible thing, and it probably was, but maybe in their weird way they're trying to help us because the guy was an accomplished musician. Honestly, it seemed like he would had an extra smart sensories glands when they manipulated with them, and then that they never really hurt him. There was no talks of abuse. He was scared and he seen figures, and then his brain. And I mean, it seemed they have all these doctors saying that the brain is not bad. It's just different, and it's not bad in a bad way either. It's kind of it's better. And he wasn't even scared, but he's been encountering these beings from another world since he was supposedly a kid. And he can do, he just seems like he has a higher IQ and everything. And these aren't people that have problems either. These are people that actually legitimately are smart people that are saying that they have this. And you would think if the aliens abducted someone that wasn't smart, they would be like that, or maybe we didn't do enough brain analysis. I don't know. But it just kind of intrigued me. All these people are just famous people that are smart, and I'm not going to disbelieve anything they say because maybe they are right. Maybe somebody did tamper with their brain. Who knows? But they're showing up with different levels of things of an advancement in their brain. So, I don't know. I guess the question we have to ask ourselves is, what do you believe? Is it evolution or is it alien activity? I mean, I don't know. Maybe in their strange way they actually try to help and we just don't understand the help and we think it's different. Or maybe they're not trying to help. I don't know. Or maybe they are trying to coexist and we see it in a different hostile way. I mean, we could go sway that way with this topic, or we could sway the way of it's just chalked up to evolution. That's why they have different kinds of brain activity. Maybe it's just simple evolution of the world around us, and we're evolving into our true form. I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest thing. Everybody's getting spiritually enlightened. You got a bunch of people getting spiritually enlightened. Maybe their brains are gearing up different. I don't know. I mean, anything's possible, really. But just that topic intrigued me. I was thinking of my random thoughts, thinking maybe they kind of are being friendly, but maybe accidentally things happen or they leave different materials because in Antarctica there's all those waste coming from space, and maybe if that floods the earth and it's not so much the water it's going to kill us, maybe it's the different viruses from space. I mean, if you think about it, because they're finding meteorites, they're always going in the soil, and sometimes they're emitting different kinds of chemicals that we're not used to, but with each generation, we're evolving somehow from it. Because even if your life expectancy was low, which I'm sure it would be at first being introduced to a new material, but I would expect if your life expectancy was going to be low, you would eventually have sex and have a baby. So the next baby would be stronger to the chemicals in the area and would not die as soon. I mean, that's what I would think. So maybe that's why when there's a great disaster, there's a baby boom. If you look at the correlations in history, I mean, history in the past tells a big tale. You know, sometimes there was a famine, usually was first. And then after the famine's over, you figure then things start growing and then everybody gets pregnant. I mean, maybe that's the way the world is. I mean, in a strange way. Maybe after a lot of deaths, there's always a baby boom because the world has to regenerate how many people have to be here. I mean, it could be a simple solution, but I mean, this is philosophical. These are philosophical thoughts have nothing to do with any kind of hardcore fact. Philosophical thoughts are just kind of like what you do with random reasoning in your brain. And I think that sometimes us as human beings, we try to overdo it. And when we try to overdo it, our brains kind of go on overdrive. So sometimes it's nice to concentrate on making yarn things or just anything of that sort. And if you could do that, your days, you feel like you're accomplishing something. Because this, see, I could take this and go like this, and when I get my knitting needles, it's almost like a sewing needle. I could even put these together and put my length. And then you can take these and go there, and you could get these together with the needle like that, and you have rows, so you can make different kinds of stuff. It's a little time consuming, but if you don't have a lot of money and you just want to make a pot holder or whatever, a nice sturdy one that's going to work in your kitchen, something like this. And if you, how many pot holders you really need? I mean, I don't need that many pot holders. I really don't. I wouldn't think anybody would need a ton of pot holders. So it could be a fun project for you for a little bit. And if you're a streamer or anything, it gives you something to stream about. Making all this. Because people like to watch you do things. Alright, this. I like to do my board. Like I think I said this in early episodes. I like to do it the length of my board. I really do. The length of my board is what I really like. So I'm gonna try to do like 6 of these. Well, this one's a little bit shorter, but that's okay because maybe I need different lengths for different projects. I'm just gonna make a bunch of these in random lengths. Because, I mean, at this point, I just need to get like 100 of these. Honestly. So I'm gonna try to gather up as many of these ropes as I can make until I have enough for a pot holder. And maybe I'll get bored doing this after a while. Then my Amazon package will appear with hopefully the knitting needle, so it'll be good because I can do other stuff. And I don't have to really buy a lot from Amazon. Because honestly, I've looked everywhere. Nobody has good rope. Nobody. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It just depends. So, but I'm sizing this up right here. Make another one. And I'm just gonna do that for that whole ball. I gotta make a bunch of these. I have some on my lamp over there hanging. I look like I got a whole hippie shop in here. And honestly, at this point, I probably am the hippie shop. I'm not gonna lie, of yarn. I got all kinds of yarn projects going on and everything else. But these, I'm going to pull this through. It's going to be a short rope right here. Because I guess the hippies probably did do something like this. And my parents were hippies, so I guess that explains a lot right there. When you're a child of a hippie. Alright, anyways. I'm going to start this, and this was take me too long. I'm going to try to at least get 6 of these an episode done. This way I have enough for something. But I start this real tight up here. I'm keeping it going. I'm trying to get different length ropes anyways. So I guess this isn't bad. And it's like I said, this is if when you get those squares from the fabric stores, which there's not a lot after COVID. Fabric stores kind of went kapooey. You gotta get all your stuff on Amazon now. So you gotta make your own supplies now. And it's okay because this is actually saves a lot of money. It'd be amazing just braiding your own cords, how much money you save. And what you could do with them. And I mean, it's a project for someone that, like I said, wants to do solitude. But I guess that's how life is. But anyways, getting back to the all this different unexplained business. I mean, this lady was in her house with her 2 dogs, and there was a blue light, and I don't know if she was like making a video for social media. I think she was. I don't know. It was on YouTube, and some of those guys have a license to critique everybody's work and stuff. So, as she was doing that, a huge blue light came out in her, and they were trying to critique the video. This YouTuber, and it just came to where it could be unexplainable even on camera. And I was thinking how horrible that would be for someone to live through because I barely like when people knock on my door. I'm not gonna lie. If I had an alien coming in trying to probe me and this and that every day, I would need years of psychological help. And it seems to be a horrible thing to go through. It really does. But we just need to There's got to be an answer somewhere. Because it doesn't, it seems kind of crazy, really. For all the stuff to keep happening and no explanation. I mean, I'm glad things like this don't happen to me. Because I feel bad for those people because they truly believe they were abducted by an alien. And if it's true or not true, hopefully, because I would hate to think there's people out there that are really suffering from these aliens that don't knock at your front door. I mean, that's an intrusion. That's terrible. You don't want them to knock at your front door. I mean, it's just, I don't. And I know it's silly. It's a little joke, but it's, you know, some people don't, I don't understand what the circumstances of all these abductions are, but it would be horrible to have some crazy thing knocking at your door, like, let's go. So, I mean, hopefully at some point they get a little friendly after they do a little testing because it doesn't seem like it would be too friendly. But that's just my opinion. But I don't know. Maybe like I mean, we could be in a wormhole. I mean, there could be so many possibilities. Just all these videos. Yep, another rope. And then I'll just make another one. I'm gonna probably keep making these. I've got days and days of these. Got to make. I got this whole roll I gotta get done. So it'll save me some money, and I can get some of these done. So yeah, all these I'm using all the string in this entire damn thing because I'm gonna use up the whole thing because I might want to make a blanket out of it. I don't know, but there would sure be enough string, and it's hard for me to do a single string. I like dealing with these ropes. I think these ropes are just way better because I can't deal with a ball of string. I just rather pre-make my ropes, just kind of like you would have, I don't know, a machine do. But if you honestly, who has money for that machine? I don't got money for that damn machine. So sometimes you're just forced to do it by yourself. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this will be my sixth string. I mean, all these yarn reminds me of string theory. We have all these different strings everywhere in massive chaos, and they come in all different things, but they're all intertwined at the same way. If you think about it, you could think of science literally as braids of string. People get pulled away and pulled in very many different ways. And sometimes they get pulled through in a nasty way, sometimes they get pulled through in a good way. I mean, one never knows these things. So, I mean, that's what it reminds me about yarn because yarn does give a lot of relevance to a lot of things. It can explain yarn and basic physics, really, all of it. Okay, here we go. One. I don't make any money any media. I promise you, I am gonna buy candles. I gotta find one that suits my needs. So far, this box is the only thing that suits my needs. At least I know the angle there. We're getting somewhere in the world. Alright, and then I'm gonna stick it in this little mat thing right here. And then I keep the foamy on that little kid's play mat. It's like the best damn braiding table I've ever had in my life. Because it is so hard because someone would have to be holding all of your stitches. But this makes it nice and it's easy to braid if somebody's holding something. I know I probably sound like a raving lunatic at times, but this is how I try to simplify the world. Because you could create or you could destroy. And I just choose to create. You can create all different ways, from left to right, and random possibilities. And in the universe, a lot of ways is like an art project. If you think about it, you're creating different things. You know, the universe is always trying to create different things. It's always made from the waste. I mean, that big ball of yarn could just be the universe. And this is the universe getting put back together, in a sense, I guess we could say. And then if you throw away pieces of the project, that would be a meteorite. But there, just braid it down, and I mean, I'm gonna be doing this. This universe is gonna take me a long time. We're gonna call this universe purple because I have to use this yarn, and I've been spending too much money on art supplies. So I'm gonna start a project with stuff I have, and then buy more stuff, and just do my cologne or perfumes like a little bits at a time because that gets expensive and I don't have enough customers, honestly. So I'm fine with this and it keeps me busy. And to me, this is fun. To other people, I don't know. Probably not. And that's okay because we gotta have our people doing video games and stuff. I mean, those are the people that make life interesting. And then you need a little bit of everybody in life. You don't have the variety in life, it's not very exciting. There's always your fixers, your people in charge, your people saving people. Saving people is always a big thing, I guess. You gotta have your heroes of the world. And unfortunately, you gotta have your bad guys. Bad guys could be swayed at times, sometimes they can't. But that's what makes the world go around because you just never know. The universe is a mysterious place. People don't know about their own feelings no more. People are confused. I mean, just being, I'm pretty much don't get out of my house very much, and I just choose not to go very far unless it's with my dog. Because I feel sometimes you got to get yourself together in life, and right now I'm just getting myself together, so it's a perfect time to stream. And in my life of solitude, I get things to keep me busy. I have a lot of busy projects. I fixed my little lamp into like a sun god altar. It's very interesting. When I get through braiding my strings, I'll show you that. But sometimes you could just do stuff like this to relax you, and you can always fix up your house, and it looks nice. And then you don't have to pay the money out, and it gave you a nice soothing activity. Honestly, that's the way I look at everything. Don't let life get you down. I mean, there's always an answer, a way, a solution. You just got to stay on a logical path. When you start going in illogical paths, it's not always a good thing, because some paths lead to bad things and bad circumstances, and some paths lead to great things. But even if you think you're on, sometimes when it seems like you're on the right path, you're usually on the wrong path. The right path is the one you gotta fight to be in. And I'm in the right path. It's just, I'm just fighting to be here. So I try to every day do what I can, save as much money as I can. That's why I do all those videos where I was trying to do the cooking. And the thing is I get that it's probably expensive and everybody's doing food, but how many people are making their own rugs and stuff? I mean, that is a lost art, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, we're coming off COVID, and there's always some interesting things to listen to on YouTube where you could just braid some yarn, have some fun, and not do any crazy stuff. I mean, life always comes around. When you think you have it horrible, eventually will come around again. I mean, generally, that's the manner of speaking in terms. But I am concerned about the things where they don't know if it's alien activity or not, or if it's just a hoax. I don't know, or there's some kind of hidden truth. I mean, we'd never know where truth lays doormat or is concealed by another lie. That's the thing about life. So sometimes you're searching for answers for a lifetime, and then you have a whole other set of answers. And the person that closely observes everything and barely says anything, and everybody yaps, usually when they closely observes everything, that gets the whole hypothesis of whatever it is that people are talking about. And sometimes you gotta sit back and listen, and you have to have a game plan for your own self. I mean, honestly, in my life, that is how I have survived. Because you got to, I don't know, you just got to be, it's not even so much to be popular, it's just to survive. I mean, sometimes it's nice to make a couple bucks on social media or wherever you want, or if you just want to sell perfume. Sometimes it's nice to cut costs and not get caught up in all of the, I have to have this and I have to have that. Just to be more humble. Sometimes if you can do that and absorb knowledge, those are the happiest people. I am humble. I just do my little things to keep busy because I absorb knowledge and I braid yarn, and that's about it. So, and I do other things. I work and all that, and the normal things that people do in life. I mean, you gotta eat, so you gotta work. You gotta try to get a good job. So it requires whatever you need to do to require usually some kind of schooling. Then you go do that in your life, and sometimes just little projects that you do around the house could maybe one day make money, but in the long run, it could save you money in your household. I mean, I don't even have to go to the store. I could decorate with things around my house. If I wanted to, I can make curtains. It's not hard. It's, you know, if you think about it, it's almost like the depression that we're living through, but it's a lot nicer than the depression. So during the depression, they made homemade biscuits. They saved their money and things like that. And I mean, it's hard to make your own flour, but if you can for your family, it's just the flour and water, and you can put a little bit of yeast. There's recipes you can look. I mean, if you're hard up for money, you need something to do. But I guess if you got to be humble and not be trying to give in to everything. I mean, to me, having money or not having money doesn't change the activities I've always done. I've always been happy with a ball of yarn. So if you're happy with a ball of yarn and you try to be kind and nice to people, sometimes that's the best thing for you. Because when you try to get, if you're literally trying to act like you're better than other people, it always bites you in the ass all the time. You, it never, it makes you feel bad and gives out negativity. And usually you lose things you love. So it's really not even worth it. But I mean, people do make this mistake. And I guess it's okay. I mean, people are people. It's what's gonna be is what's gonna be. But sometimes if you can try to realize that at a younger age, you're a little better off. I just loop this around like this, and then I grab it through and come out that way. And I get another one. I'm just gonna try to make a nice little pile, and then I'll just end this then. So I do got a nice little pile because I like to prepare for projects too. So some of these strings could be me preparing for projects. I do. I'm just doing random different. I'm still doing 6 strings to my yard. I'm still continuing with that. And then I like that. If I don't have like a really bad spot where I have to individually cut, I like to loop. So this is what I do with the yarn that Chong chewed up because animals love yarn, even dogs. So you got to protect your supplies when you have animals. So I'm going to use up this because it was already compromised. So and it's just messy in my bag. So to clean this up and use it, I'm just going to have to braid all of this out. And like I said, it's easier to me to do this method because I don't like having clutter. I like everything to have a use. And it drives me nuts when it does not have a use. So I figure if I'm going to have all this yarn, I might as well just braid this out. Yeah. I mean, see, I do enjoy this. I probably might buy more yarn, but I got to use that whole bag of yarn. I really do. I got, I got to get it together with that yarn. And I'm enjoying the 6 string method when you braid two at a time. I'm enjoying my thicker ones here. And out here. But honestly, I do think there is something to all this alien business. I just don't know on what level. So, I mean, I wish I had more information for you guys, but maybe just talking through it and maybe we could come up with answers. I mean, I know that I'm not, I mean, it'd be a miracle if you found my video, but if you do, maybe just kind of comment if you think there's aliens and just leave it on my video on the bottom. I mean, I don't know. I do think there's a possibility of life because we're here and we wouldn't be here if there was no life. So I couldn't tell you. There has to be something to all this. I mean, I don't know if you believe, guys believe if they're hostile or not hostile. I mean, I'm not even sure anymore. But I'm gonna braid out this here because I have those strings in. I gotta check my messages after this because I probably got more group activity going on, and I try to get not too involved with all that because I'm trying to do stuff over here, but try to at least do one a day, at least for an hour. So I figure my little art projects usually pass the time just for little things I do to decorate my own house. And I just like having braided rope around because you could do a lot of art projects with braided rope. You would be surprised what you can do with braided rope. So it's just something that I thought of, and it is time consuming. But what's more time consuming than having a ball of yarn that's always compromised? So I'm going to be really excited when my needles finally arrive from Amazon. So I'm going to break this down. And you could have method too. Because if you have one of these little foam boards for the kids' play area, oh my god, you got to get it. So cheap, hold your braids. I find it very, actually, I find it a very relaxing activity. It actually calms my mind doing this, and I could not tell you why, it just does. So to me, in my head, this is what I think of. So just keep going down, and you can do this for as long as you can tolerate it, or how many you need for whatever project you're doing. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper than going to Walmart and trying to find a project that's already put together for you because that box is a lot of money. It really is. Just like those bracelets, I started with doing this, and I noticed the yarn for my other bracelets was too soft, so it worked with some, didn't the other, and I had to go get twine. But I realized this could be used for other projects, and I need it. So let's break this down a little more this way. And I mean, I got another string, and tomorrow is another day with more talking to people and endless videos to have a revelation of thought in my head and a ball of yarn and a can of pop or coffee, and then there you go. You got a good day, and you did something useful because all these, like I said, could be made to a sweater or anything. It's a good exertion of energy. It really is. And I just pull this through and then just do it. And I'm just going to save this for my art project since I'm going to do the pot holders. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to be doing my pot holders and I'll be starting my blankets soon. So I decided there's only so much perfume, like I said, you could wear. But leave your comments. Let me know what you think because I don't really get out a lot. So, and I clean the house a lot and I just do different things. So, and then I get so consumed at work sometimes it's exhausting. But I don't know how much time I did on this stream. Oh, 52 minutes, almost hit an hour. But, anyways, I guess come in. I'm probably going to be doing more yard things tomorrow, so that's going to be tomorrow is yarn braiding. And then when I get enough yarn braided, we'll start projects. I promise. And have a good day. Leave the comments below on what you feel about the all these different happenings because I'm actually very curious. So, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.